You know, even pretending not to, even saying it's over, even distracting yourself with other things. You feel it, because it's impossible not to notice when this person still carries the weight of everything they couldn't leave behind. You're still inside, just hidden. This person pushed you into a corner, closed the door, threw the key somewhere even they don't know. And now they live as if you were just a phase, but you weren't. This person hasn't come back because they're afraid to face you again, to look into your eyes and realize they still feel everything, or worse, realize that you don't feel anything anymore. This person stays silent because they think it's safer. They avoid because it hurts less. They don't reach out because they know that if they do, they might fall apart, but you feel it, because there's still an invisible thread, a presence that never completely left, an absence too noticeable to ignore. This person became a blind spot in your life. They pretend they forgot but turn away when they see you, act as if they've moved on, but still repeat your name in their thoughts. And when they hear that song, they freeze. If you showed up now without warning, this person wouldn't know what to do. They would try to look cold, they would lie with their eyes, but you would see. You would see what's always been there, the desire, the fear, the doubt, the memory, the longing. This person hasn't forgotten you, they're just trying to survive what they still feel. And trying not to feel is the only way they've found to keep standing. Do you still think about it? Do you still wonder if it's really over? If what was left unresolved still exists for someone other than you? You try to move on, try not to look for signs, but sometimes all it takes is a longer silence, a notification that doesn't come, a memory crossing your mind on just any given day. And it all comes back, like an echo that hasn't gone away, like a body that distanced itself but the energy stayed with you. This person hasn't forgotten you. It doesn't matter what they said. It doesn't matter how many photos you posted, how many indirect quotes you made, how many days you pretended everything was okay. You continue to be a topic in the most secret thoughts. In the part that this person doesn't even show to their closest friends, in the part that no one accesses, not even you. Because if you could see what still pulses inside, you would see the mess you left behind, and that not even time managed to organize. No, you are not a delusion. You are not an exaggeration. You are not a craving. You are a presence. Do you notice? This person learned to live without the touch, but didn't live a single day without the memory. And no matter how much they try, no matter how much they get involved with other distractions, you're still there, in the place that no one else truly occupied. It's just that this person didn't have the courage to delete everything. They didn't delete it, they just hid it. They just locked it away. They just pushed it away, like someone who pushes something painful to a corner of the mind to avoid feeling it anymore, but they didn't feel it any less. They just didn't know how to handle it. You know what I'm talking about. You notice, because there are things that don't need to be said. They're felt, they're perceived in the air, in the body, in the subconscious, and the body doesn't lie. Sometimes this person still checks your profile, sees what you're doing, who you're hanging out with, if you seem happy or if you're just forcing a smile, and when they find nothing, they create scenes in their head, scenes that hurt, scenes that trigger jealousy, scenes that feed the doubt that never died. And no, this person hasn't gotten over it. They just got tired of fighting for something that seemed to go nowhere. Or maybe they felt too small, or too big to shrink one more time. But feeling, they never stopped feeling. They still wonder if you think, if you look at the same sky and remember a specific day, if that last conversation kept echoing, if that last look said more than the words that never came. You became a noticeable absence, that absence that bothers, that weighs, that lingers, and when it weighs, this person thinks about calling you, but they stop halfway. Do you know why? Because you're afraid of the answer, or worse, afraid of the silence. You still live in their eyes, in the unsent texts, in the saved screenshots, in the phrases that the heart continues to recite like a mantra. Do they still think about me? And they do, but they don't say it. They don't write it. They don't admit it. This person distances themselves, but still waits for you to say something, waits for you to reach out, to ask if everything's okay, to say that you miss them too, even if you don't say it with those words. But you don't say it. And this person gets hurt once again, alone, in silence, stubbornly pretending to have moved on. But no one gets over something that still breathes inside. You breathe inside this person, even if they don't realize it, even if they don't want to. There is love that becomes a layer, sticks to the skin, to the routine, to the smell, to the memory of the touch, to the way they talk, to the way the heart races upon seeing your name by chance. There is love that doesn't disappear. It just changes places, and you have been placed in a place of honor and pain inside this person. Want a sign? The silence is the biggest one, because those who speak are still trying. Those who shout still want to be heard, but those who remain silent feel so much that they don't even know where to start. If this makes sense to you right here below, I needed to hear this. There are days when the longing becomes unbearable, and this person feels like running to you, telling you everything, opening their heart, dropping the pride, crying, saying they couldn't handle it, that they tried to move on, that they tried to get involved with other people. But in the end, soon it was all empty, because no hug fit like yours, no laugh made their stomach hurt like yours, no look pierced as much as your gaze did. But then this person stops, swallows the urge, swallows the words, swallows you again, and pretends to have forgotten, pretends to be happy, pretends it doesn't matter. And if someone asks, they say everything's fine, but you notice, because those who feel notice, this person still feels, only not allowed to feel for you anymore. And yet it remains there, whole, intact, not in the objects, but in the way her heart still reacts just by hearing your name. She wants to call you, but she's afraid you'll answer without a soul, afraid that you have truly left, afraid that what remains in you is no longer love. But what about you? Do you still feel? Or have you learned to protect yourself as much as this person? Have you also learned to hide? Do you lock away memories too? Or are you waiting for a sign to do what no one else has the courage to do? This conversation is not about reconciliation. It's about the truth that remains, even when everything else has gone. And deep down, this person still waits, but she doesn't wait for just anything. She waits to be noticed again. She waits to be looked at as in the beginning. She waits for you to see what she had to hide. The love, the pain, the desire, and the fear. Fear that you feel nothing anymore. Fear of realizing that the only person who still feels I am is her. But you don't feel anything, right? Or do you feel, and you're just pretending? But do you know what hurts this person the most? It's realizing that no matter how hard she tries to forget, you remain the only name that still causes this kind of silence, this kind of internal pause, this kind of pain that nobody understands, that nobody explains, that nobody sees, because you became this, a discreet wound, deep, hidden, that sometimes seems healed, but starts bleeding again when least expected. This person doesn't talk about you with anyone, not because she doesn't feel, but because she's tired of justifying the longing, of explaining why she still hasn't managed to move on, of saying that everything's fine when everything is shattered inside. This is not simple longing. It's not loneliness. It's attachment with pain. It's love with pride. It's affection that had nowhere to go and stayed still, imploding in the chest. You know it. Not because someone told you, but because there are nights when you feel that pull, that restlessness. This regret disguised as life goes on, but it doesn't. Not for you, not for this person. It may even seem like it does. But every time night falls, when the phone vibrates without your name, when the eyes close on their own trying to forget, you reappear, as if you had never left. And then this person remembers the way you used to speak, the way you looked, the details. The calm that came only when you were near, and the chaos that came after you left. There wasn't a proper goodbye. There wasn't an end that made sense. Only the absence remained, the doubt, the hurt piled up in silence, the questions that no one answered. You still live in this, in what was not said, in what was not resolved, in what was left open, and you feel it. You don't want to admit it, but you feel it. Because if you didn't feel it, you wouldn't be here now reading all of this, going through it inside without anyone seeing you. Do you want to know the cruelest part? It's that this person remembers you with anger, sometimes with affection, sometimes with resentment, sometimes with longing, sometimes with all of that at the same time. And that's what hurts the most, not knowing how to feel, because you were love, but you were also pain. You were home, but you were also exile. You were an embrace, but you were also absence. And now, after so much time, everything is still there, lost between memory and trauma, between the desire to try and the fear of repeating, between you and no one else. And even if someone shows up in this person's life, they won't take the same place. Because that place has your name engraved on it. No matter how much they try to disguise it, it's you. If this moves you, write a word that defines you now. This person continues trying to live without mentioning you, but the body remembers, the soul feels, the heart tells. And when they hear your name by chance, the world stops. Everything contracts inside, because even without wanting to, you still hurt. And this pain, this silent, difficult, slow, dragged-out pain, is proof that it hasn't passed, that it wasn't just anything, that you weren't just a phase, you were a mark, you were a rooting, you were a rupture, and everything that comes after seems smaller, seems pale, seems like an attempt. Do you feel that too? Then listen, this person isn't waiting for just anyone, isn't available for just any presence, because the place that was yours remains empty, and the truth is that no one else has managed to sit there. Because for this person, what you lived didn't end, it just stopped. It froze, it went on hold. Waiting for what? Maybe time, maybe you, maybe something even this person no longer knows how to name. But the feeling, that never left. And you? Do you still feel it? Still hide it? Still lie to yourself saying you've forgotten? Or are you still waiting for the right moment? The unspoken conversation, the reunion that still pulses even if no one says it out loud. And maybe no one knows, but this person still dreams about you. They're not sweet dreams, they're not easy dreams. They're the kind where you suddenly appear, without explanation, without logic, but with such a real presence that they wake up breathless. Wake up looking for your scent on the pillow, with wet eyes, with the feeling that you're still around. That something inside them recognized you, even if life decided to push you away. This person sometimes wonders if you dream too, if you still wake up with their name stuck in your throat, if your longing also has a set time, or if you just moved on, just like that. But the truth is, you weren't simple, never were. You were an internal shift, a before and after, a type of love that isn't forgotten, even when tried with all might, and you're still there. Even if this person doesn't say it, even if they deny it, even if they refuse to admit it, you're at the core of every decision. In the memory they try to bury, in the regret that flows out when they're alone, in the silent scream that comes every time they think, what if I had said it? What if I had tried harder? What if? Do you also carry your what ifs? Or did she pretend she forgot? This person continues living, but she doesn't live light. She carries you on her shoulders, on her back, in her chest, because you didn't become the past. You became a shadow, you became a noisy absence, you became a memory that insists on being present. She tries to be happy, with others, with life, with achievements, but there's always something missing, a hole where you once fit. She looks at old photos, but doesn't post them. She reads saved conversations, but doesn't reply. She thinks of you, but doesn't let anyone notice, because the pain is intimate, it's secret, it's hers, and she is ashamed of it. Yes, ashamed of still feeling, ashamed of still loving you in silence, ashamed of still not having gotten over you. Do you notice that? That rehearsed absence too real to be fake, that life too organized to be felt. This person became an expert at pretending to be fine, but when the world goes silent, when the routine slows down, when the night swallows everything, it's you who comes back, without invitation, without an appointed time, without explanation. You enter, as you always did, as if it was still your place. And what does she do? Nothing. She pretends she didn't see, she pretends she didn't feel, she pretends she forgot, but inside it burns, it suffocates. She swallows hard, cries in silence, and thinks, does he still think of me like this too? Have you heard that question inside? Have you listened to the echo of her name when no one was around? Have you missed something that you yourself let slip away? This person feels for you, feels for herself, feels for everything unsaid, and for everything said too late. Does she regret it? Yes. For not having spoken, for having spoken too much, for having loved at the wrong time, for not knowing how to show it, for letting you leave without throwing herself on the ground begging you to stay, because that's what she wanted, to hold you, to scream at you, to shake you saying, don't go. But she stayed silent. Silent out of pride, out of fear, out of protection. And now she pays the price of feeling inside everything you never had the courage to show on the outside. Because yes, you felt it. You recognized yourself. You realized that this is not just about that person, it's about you too, about what still lives even after the end, about what burns even after goodbye, about what insists even when the other gives up. And now you decide. Are you going to keep pretending you don't feel? Are you going to hide behind reason? Are you going to protect yourself to the point of losing the only person who still vibrates inside you? Or will you do what that person is dying to do, but no longer has the strength to seek out, ask, look in the eye, and say, without a filter, without pride, without disguise, you still live in me? And if they say they feel the same way, can you handle it? Or did you just want to know that it still hurts? Because to love, to truly love, is for those who still have courage. If this touched you, share, comment on what you felt, leave a like, and subscribe for more.